There's this moment, this specific feeling when you're standing in the middle of a city and everything around you slows down. The kind of moment where you're so suddenly and completely overtaken by your surroundings that your senses can't keep up. The cold creeps into your bones and you feel like you're sinking, like the air is thick and heavy even though there's no storm in sight. Not yet, anyway. Hey, it's Alex. I'm in Edinburgh, Scotland, a city packed with history and mystery that pulls you in the moment you arrive. There's an energy here that can only be described as ancient yet strangely alive. Like, sure, these streets have seen their fair share of monarchs, poets, and the occasional gruesome public execution, but at the same time, they seem excited to meet you too. I step off the train at Waverley Station, taking in the skyline that greets me. The sheer drama of Edinburgh Castle, perched high on its volcanic throne, makes me feel like I've just walked onto the set of a medieval epic. Even with the sun just barely peeking through the clouds, the whole city has this sort of moody, atmospheric vibe. It's mysterious, a little brooding, and I think to myself, the perfect backdrop for exploring. Naturally, the first thing I do is head to the Royal Mile. This iconic stretch of cobblestone street connects the castle to the Palace of Holyrood House and is packed with everything you'd expect. Tourists, tartan, bagpipers, and shops selling shortbread as if it's the only food group. It's everything I thought it would be and more. Sure, it's touristy, but the architecture, absolutely stunning. The air, crisp and fresh with just a hint of drizzle that makes everything glisten. If you squint a little, it's like stepping back in time. My next stop is the Scottish National Gallery. The gallery is home to some amazing pieces of art, with works by artists like Rembrandt and Turner. I take my time wandering through the exhibits before deciding to check out one of Edinburgh's hidden gems, Dean Village. It's just a short walk from the city centre, tucked away along the Water of Leith, and it feels like stepping into a postcard. The cobblestone streets, the old mill buildings, the little bridges arching over the river, it's peaceful, quaint, and honestly, a little hypnotic. There are no crowds, no rush, just the sound of the river babbling along and the occasional dog walker giving you a polite nod. As I stroll along the Water of Leith walkway, I can't help but feel like I've discovered a secret part of the city that most tourists overlook. It's a little paradise of calm, and I spend a good hour just wandering around, taking in the quiet charm of the place. It's at this point that I decide to tackle Arthur's Seat. You know, because I'm clearly a seasoned hiker and not someone who struggles with stairs on a good day. If you haven't heard of it, Arthur's Seat is an extinct volcano that sits just outside the city center. It's the highest natural point in Edinburgh, and I figure the panoramic view at the top is worth a bit of legwork. Plus, the clouds are looking, well, let's just call them indifferent rather than threatening. I head up the trail with my usual amount of overconfidence, armed with nothing more than a camera, a water bottle, and my sheer determination to conquer the city from above. The hike starts off well enough, the path is steep, but the views are unbeatable. I mean, seriously, you can see the whole city sprawled out beneath you, from the Firth of Forth to the castle and beyond. By the time I reach the summit, I feel like I'm standing on top of the world. The winds pick up a little, but it's nothing I can't handle. At least, not yet. But here's the thing about Edinburgh. It loves a good plot twist. Just as I'm standing there taking in the view, feeling like I've absolutely nailed this whole exploring Scotland thing, I notice something on the horizon. a distant, dark mass rolling in from the sea. No big deal, I think, just a passing cloud. Except it's not just a passing cloud, it's the cloud. The one that laughs in the face of anyone foolish enough to think they could spend a whole day outside in Edinburgh without a waterproof jacket. I make my way down from Arthur's Seat at what could only be described as a leisurely jog, trying to pretend I'm not concerned. I'm almost back to the Royal Mile when the sky, without any warning, opens up. It doesn't just rain, it dumps, as if someone just flipped a switch from occasional drizzle to biblical flood. Now, I don't know if you've ever experienced the sensation of being caught in a Scottish downpour, but let me paint a picture. It's like the universe has taken a cold, wet blanket and wrapped it around you, and then it's slowly turning that blanket into a sponge. My hoodie, which seemed fine an hour ago, is now useless. Water pours down the back of my neck, soaking through my clothes until it reaches my shoes, where it pools in a way that makes me question all my life choices. It's in moments like these that you really bond with a city. Sure, I'm soaked, but so is everyone else. And there's something kind of charming about it. As I stumble my way into the first shelter I can find, which happens to be a little cafe just off the Royal Mile, I look around and see fellow drenched tourists, all of us united by the unpredictability of Scottish weather. We exchange glances, half laughing, half defeated, and order our teas and hot chocolates like a group of people who just survived a small disaster. I sit in a warm corner, hearing the rain hammer down outside, and start to appreciate Edinburgh in a whole new light. It's not just about the landmarks and the history, though those are incredible. It's about the experience. The kind of city where you can feel totally soaked to your bones, but still charmed by its atmosphere and friendly people. The day could have ended there, but I'm not ready to call it quits just yet. Edinburgh's got a hold on me, and I'm determined to squeeze in one more stop before heading back to my hotel. I remember reading about Greyfriars Kirkyard, the famous cemetery known for its spooky history, and of course the story of Greyfriars Bobby, the loyal little dog who guarded his master's grave for 14 years. It's said to be one of the most haunted places in the city. But honestly, after getting soaked to the bone earlier, I'm not sure ghosts are the scariest thing Edinburgh can throw at me. I make my way to the kirkyard just as the sun is starting to dip behind the skyline. There's a certain eeriness to the place, with its weathered tombstones and ancient mausoleums casting long shadows. The wind has picked up again, rustling through the trees in a way that makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. And then there's Bobby's Bar right across the street, which feels like the perfect spot to end my day. I grab a pint, sit by the window, and glance out at the statue of the little terrier, thinking about loyalty, history, and how even in the wettest, wildest moments, Edinburgh manages to steal your heart. By the time I finish my drink and head back out into the now dry evening, I'm exhausted but content. Sure, I wasn't prepared for the weather, but whoever really is? That's part of the magic of Edinburgh. It keeps you on your toes. And if you can laugh through the rain, you'll find that this city has a way of making every adventure, no matter how wet, worth it. Sure, my shoes are still squishy and my hoodie might never fully dry out, but honestly, I wouldn't have it any other way. I tell you what though, the next time I come here, I'll definitely come with a waterproof jacket, and I recommend you do too. Do you have any plans to go to Edinburgh, or have you been? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe for more. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and adventure aloud.